Hello and welcome. This is Retro Rap with PLG. I am the host with the most, just not the most legs, as I am a left below knee amputee. However, what I lack in limbs, I make up for in personality and sense of humor. Welcome to the Kingdom of Stumpies and welcome to Retro Rap with PLG. I hope you guys are having a wonderful start to your Saturdays. I'm waiting for my guest. Yeah, he'll be on very soon. Here he comes now. My guest today is kind of not a new streamer, but a new streamer to me. This was somebody that I followed a while ago, on actually Halloween, I believe it was, and we just kind of chatted a little bit, and I really enjoy them. They are a husband wife couple. They're known as Whimsical Sprites. And my guest is one half a Whimsical Sprite. His name is Nick. And I'm going to bring in Nick right now. And there is Nick.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Welcome to Retro Rap with PLG. Thank you so much for agreeing to this interview. Nick, to get started, can you just give everybody just a quick, maybe a 10, 15-second elevator pitch about who you are, you and your wife, what you do, and so forth?
Yeah. So my wife and I are a retro streaming couple primarily. Sometimes we play indie titles, but it's mostly retro stuff. We tend to favor some of the older Nintendo games, NES, Game Boy Advance, a little bit of Sega here and there, PlayStation, stuff like that. Stuff that we grew up with, you know. So what we do is we do pass and play games, we do co-op games, we do like some community games, working a little bit on getting, my feet wet with like speed running on original hardware and things like that, but that's kind of way out in the future. I can get more into like kind of the backstory, I guess, of things later on, but essentially my wife and I do this as a concept full time. We have a toy store. And I make music online, and we create all kinds of different content and stuff. But this is a big part of like our week to week thing. So that's a little bit about us, I guess.
Cool. That's pretty cool, man. You have a toy store. Is it an online toy store or is it?
Yeah. So we sell toys, collectibles, games on both eBay and Mercari. We also just launched our new website, whimsicalsprites.com. And so we're offering some of the, like bulk items that we have and stuff like that on there. So you can buy like Pokemon repacked cards, vintage Pokemon figures, Sailor Moon collectible cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards, Crazy Bones, lots of just, I think the primary focus of a lot of what we sell tends to be late 80s through early 2000s toys. So the 90s, I think, end up taking, a bulk of that. So you'll see things like Furbies pop up or Power Rangers, old Nintendo games. It might be like He-Man stuff every once in a while. It's a little more 80s, I guess. My Little Pony. More recently, VHS tapes have become interesting to us, so I have a bunch of those now. Stuff like that.
That's really cool. And by the way, mad respect to speedrunners, man. I'm a big Mega Man guy. I do a lot of, as my viewers know, I play a lot of Mega Man on my channel. I've watched YouTube videos of people speedrun Mega Man, and I thought I was good at Mega Man. Oh my god! And like I can't do speedrunning. I just can't. I have nothing against it. I just can't do it. I think it takes a special person to be able to speedrun through a game. It takes so much patience to learn how, like, all the different tricks that you can do to get through the game as fast as you can. I just don't have patience to learn the tricks. Like, I'm more of a deathless runner. I'll do Mega Man deathless, because then I can take my time and make sure I don't die. But I mean, it's still mad respect to speedrunners, man. That's really cool. If you want, Nick, you can, if it's an online store, put the link to your online store right in the chat there, and you guys can go check it out.
Let me pull it up here. I'm trying to think of what the easiest way to. I've got you on Discord, so let me pull up the Twitch stream and then.
Oh sure.
Let me see here. Phantom. Here we go.
Yeah, guys, if you're into collectibles, check out their online store. That's pretty cool. I think that's crazy, man. That's cool that you and your wife have that venture together. That's really neat.
Yeah, we love it. I mean, like seriously, it's funny. If I don't know if you guys want to hear a little bit of the backstory of how it started.
This is your time, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I'll give you, and there's our Mercari store as well. Mm-hmm. And then let me see if I can find the eBay link is a little frustrating at times. So let me, okay, and then here's the last one. So this is for our eBay page. Yeah, so basically, during a portion of the pandemic, my wife and I were we were wanting to go on a small like staycation type thing.
Sure.
Not really a staycation, I guess. We basically just wanted to take a train to Chicago, stay in a nice hotel overlooking, Michigan Avenue or whatever, and just kind of like relax. But we wanted to do it like on a budget, which was insanely difficult.
Sure. I can understand that.
And so had this idea that Aaron had this box of like old Nintendo games lying around. And we decided to call up a couple local shops and see if they would buy them. And me being just kind of like I guess like impatient, I was like we should just sell them to someone, whatever, And then Erin has this great idea. She goes, I heard about Mercari. It's like this app that you can sell stuff on. And I'm like, what if we did that? And I said, well, I don't know if I want to deal with shipping. And she was like, well, I'll try it out. And it's fine. And so I was very doubtful at first, but she put some stuff up, and she made like a crazy amount of money on just selling those games in like those first few weeks. Like it more than paid for our trip.
Wow.
And got thinking about it, and we were like, dude, we've been streaming on Twitch for a little bit. This has a certain synergy with the retro game thing that we happen to also collect things here and there. Mm-hmm. We know the value of some of the things. We know where we can, source them affordably and be able to pass them on affordably to other people as well. Which I kind of pride myself in. One of the things that we do well is we don't offer a product unless we think that it's going to bring value, to somebody.
Sure. Makes sense.
Yeah, and that it's going to be something that I would look at and be like, okay, I might want to buy that, And so. Yeah, we just started thinking about it more critically. We started selling Pokemon cards because we just had a ton of like 90s cards that we'd accumulated back when it was like not very cool to collect Pokemon cards, like in the in the late maybe I want to say between like 2013 and 2016. That was when we were dude, they were just so affordable at that point in time, and then we ended up just selling a whole bunch of them, and eventually just quit my job because it was like,
wow,
this is working, we figured out that there were a few antique malls in the area that we could booth at, so we could put out some things for sale there. We were a little worried at that point because now we're like paying rent for somewhere and there's a little more on the line.
Yep.
But first couple of months, like doubled rent, and then we're like tripling rent, and now I'm hoping this time to do 5 or 6 times over rent or whatever,
Oh my goodness.
And I don't say that to be like egocentric or anything. It's just starting a business at least in the States and stuff. It can be really challenging, and so being able to come up with that kind of money is like essential for you to like maintain doing what you love, and that's what it's really about. Is just that I love doing this. Like I wake up every day and I'm like, I can't believe that I get to do this. This is so cool, and it brings a smile to my face. I get to see my wife like all the time. If we want to go, take the dogs for a walk in the middle of the day, we can go do that. If we want to take a random day off, we can do that. That also comes with, you got to work hard. Like, it's learning to, I can't sleep in every day, and I can't, you got to get up and be motivated and stuff. So, all of the ups and downs in that, I've just figured out. I've worked a million jobs, and it's not for me. This thing is for me. This is for us. So we're pretty happy with the life that we're crafting.
That is a really cool story. It's very inspiring too, and the fact that you get to spend all that time with your wife while you guys do this together, And not only that, you get to stream together on Twitch. That is super cool, man. And I really admire that about you guys, that you can do that. And you're right, it's not easy starting a business. Twitch itself is a business, right? Like, you start a Twitch channel that at least I look at it as a business. I have spreadsheets. I keep track of all my assets. I keep track of how much time I spend doing things just for Twitch. I keep track of everything, and it's a business. And you have to. I mean, you have to fill out whatever that thing is at the end of the year. What is that form for tax?
I don't even know, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so you got to fill that out, right? Because you got to pay taxes on any income that you make on Twitch. If you make over $600 in the year, it's a business. So like you have to do all that, and it's super cool that you just like you put that faith in your wife too, right? You're just like, well, you'll go ahead and try it and see, and now look at you. You were able to quit your job and you're doing this full time. So that's cool, man.
That is the thing. I mean, like, it seriously was so much of her. I can't stress enough that Erin is like the entity of Whimsical Sprites. Like, she came up with the idea for us to start streaming. She came up with the idea for us to start selling things. She invented the name. I mean, sometimes it's weird because I do a lot. Like I make our overlays and I do like planning and I list and stuff like that. But when I think back on it, it's really like, I mean, she carries the whole thing. This was something that I think in a small segment of health, and that's the most important thing. Is she was in like a healthy spot when she started thinking about doing this stuff. She herself had quit her job, and we were looking for something because the environment was just getting terrible. And that's the thing that I really want to stress with this is that, like, if you're watching right now and you're like, I'm thinking about quitting my job, we've all had that boss that's like super condescending and you hate coming into work and you don't feel like you make a lot of money. Look, you're probably smarter than me. I'm sure that you can do this. I'm sure that you can do this. Like, it's not about like, you know, talent and stuff. It's like about motivation. It's like if you have a little bit of an inkling of a spark that you think you might want to do this, like, I would just encourage people to like explore that because it's very challenging, but it's so rewarding, you know. And you know being a Twitch streamer that streams far more often than we do. That you have to devote a lot of your life to it. You know? Like, you have to commit so much to, you know, every aspect of it, and you know, thinking about that. And so, yeah, I love it so much, and I'm so thankful for Erin. I really think that she has like carried this whole thing, and I'm so proud of her, and I'm so thankful for her, and yeah, just stoked.
That's cool. You know, the other thing is people are always afraid that, okay, I quit my job and now what? Well, the thing is, like, when you start a business, you're in control of that business. And if it's not working, don't just give up. I mean, maybe a certain aspect of it's not working. Change things up. That's all part of running a business. You got to change it. If you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got. If you don't change something, you're going to get the same results. I could talk about this all day. I really could. You seem like this is the first time I've ever talked to you like this. So you seem like a super guy. And maybe off stream we could talk a little bit. Moving on. You kind of touched on this a little bit with Erin, but why did you guys decide why did she make the decision to stream on Twitch? What was like the motivation? What was the one, you know, the light bulb that came on? Why did you decide to do it?
Well, so what brought it on was that, so I have a lot of hobbies and things like that I do in my free time, and she, I would say, doesn't have like quite as many like little, you know, on the side things that she's interested in and stuff, and we wanted to start spending more time together as a married couple, like doing things that we mutually enjoy doing. And so, by the way, hi Agnew. It's good to see you.
Hey Agnew, thank you so much for joining. You must be from Nick and Aaron's community.
And thanks for dropping the dank emote. Every time I see that, it makes me laugh, and I love it. I'll have to talk about that later. But
sure.
So basically, what she said is, we have this friend Pitterpaws. Have you seen her stream?
What's the name?
Pitter Possum?
I've not heard of Pitter Possum. No.
Yeah, if you are looking for new streamers, check her out. So Pitter Possum, was streaming a little bit of Pokemon and stuff like that, and Erin just had this idea. She was like, what if we did something kind of like what she did? Like, what if both of us, we streamed like as a couple? And then I said, well, I think we could do that, but it would have to be stuff that like I would enjoy playing, and what I enjoy playing most is like retro games. Mm-hmm. And Erin kind of said, well, I sort of like playing indie games, and so we came with this idea to do like a retro indie like couple stream. And so my brother Ness NES_SSB streams as well, competitive Smash. And we got some advice from Pitter Possum and from my brother and other people that stream. And then I think like the day before Christmas Eve of last year, so our stream anniversary is coming up soon. That was when we did our first stream. We played through Kirby's Adventure on RetroArch, and I was immediately extremely surprised by how much I liked it. I just seriously like fell in love with it immediately, and I think that Erin loved it even more. And as a husband, seeing like your wife, like seeing her light up like that, that's kind of just something that like you live for. Like, I mean, like I like just to be able to make your spouse like that happy. And so being able to do that together, I think was the biggest thing. And so it was kind of a little spontaneous. And then that sort of accidentally had some synergy with selling toys. And I mean, I don't know, it's kind of like we like just sort of tripped into it. Like it just happened like kind of accidentally. It wasn't super intentional, but
that's pretty neat, man. That's pretty cool. I just think it's cool that like I watch like El Jefe. I was telling you about it off stream. Him and his wife stream. I just think it's really cool watching couples stream together. I think that's something cool that you get to share.
I definitely check out his stuff too. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome, man. What are some of your favorite retro games? And if you want to talk about some of Aaron's favorites too, that's fine.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you asked because I actually brought some with me. If I can,
cool.
If I can show them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we very recently bought a CRT and an NES.
Oh, cool.
And I got into playing with OG hardware, which I never thought that I would get into.
Mm-hmm.
And then we ended up finding some good deals on copies of games. So one of my favorites of all time is this one, Kirby's Adventure.
Kirby's Adventure, cool.
This game is just unbelievable because it's like, how did they do this on an NES? This could pass as a Super Nintendo game.
Mm-hmm.
Like looking back on it, it's like this is like a marvel of science that they figured out how to put this on this card. So that's a big one. Another one, and this is one that I'm trying to attempt to speed run, but I'm not good at it, is Ninja Gaiden 2.
Oh my god. That game is so hard.
It's a masterpiece.
It's a good game.
It's so hard though. Like, yes. I mean, like it's very rewarding. Like once you figure out like some of the moves and stuff, I'm now getting to a point where if I sit down, I can beat it in about an hour.
Wow.
But which for me is like amazing because I'm not very good at video games. But like, but that one is like so fun. And then this is what I think is probably one of the most underrated NES titles that no one talks about, and I don't know why. Monopoly.
Oh. I wasn't expecting that. That's awesome.
It's so goofy and it's so fun, and I love the story of the developer who made this game. So he actually had a chronic health condition that gave him a really, really bad like back pain for like his whole life. And he made this game, and then he quit developing to go to I think like Moody in Chicago or something like that, and he did like a doctorate on like what it's like to have like faith in God and have like long-term debilitating suffering like in like an illness or something like that.
Sure.
And I still to this day just think that's so cool. And he made like an amazing game that's got good music, and it's got some of the best AI that I've ever seen. Like if you play against the computers, it's so surprising to see how smart they are for like an NES game. They'll do like trades with you for property, and they'll do auctions, and it's just a hoot. Like you gotta play it. It's awesome.
I actually have played it. And I'll never ever forget the music. Do 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 do. I love it. I'm actually. It's funny you mentioned Monopoly because I'm a huge Monopoly fan. Like I love the board game, and I've started collecting some of the different Monopoly games, different themed ones. And I love Monopoly, and I used to play that game all the time when I was a kid. I actually have it on my Switch. I got the Switch version of Monopoly on my Switch, and
nice.
I play that a lot too. Those are 3 excellent choices on games, by the way.
Yeah.
That's really cool, man.
And one more thing too that I love about the game that no one talks about is it's 8 players.
That's right. That's when they had the was it a V or whatever that you could plug the different controllers into?
It's not that so much. It's just they just do pass and play. So one controller just. But I've never seen I haven't seen another NES game that's like you can play with 8 people. That's crazy.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's a good fact. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, Carsa, how are you doing? I used to play it as a board game. Yeah, I love Monopoly, man. The problem is that Power Possum Kiss Monopoly. I haven't played Kiss Monopoly. I just recently I've got Star Wars Monopoly. I've got Transformers Monopoly. One I really want to find, and you can find, I think it's on Etsy. I love the show The Office. It's my favorite show. That and Saved by the Bell. But they have The Office Monopoly. And that's if you guys have that in your toy store, I'll buy it right now.
I'll be on the lookout for it.
Be on the lookout. Because, yeah. Anyway.
That's what I try to do with people is like, if you got something that you're looking for, just tell us. Because we frequently just send things for free to people too. I mean, like my dad was a flipper of antiques and vintage stuff for 30 years.
Oh.
And he has a saying. It's use money and love people. Don't love money and use people. And I appreciate that. And I think that like where we can find commonality and bless somebody else with something that puts a smile on their face, we'd like to do that. So, in as much as we can afford to do it. But.
No, right. Well, again, you're running a business, right? So you can't just give away your profits. But yeah, definitely. If you come across Office Monopoly, let me know.
Yeah.
So you've talked about some of your favorite games. Let me ask you this. What's a video game that you liked that you actually thought that you would hate? And what did you like about it? What made you like it?
Great question. I did not think that I was going to like ActRaiser for SNES.
Okay.
That game is an almost direct 50-50 combination of like a God game and a side-scrolling action slasher. When we picked it up, I didn't know what to think about it. I was like, people say this game's amazing, so I'm going to try it, but I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, and I ended up loving it.
Really?
I loved that there was a certain synergy that my wife and I had because my wife played SimCity a lot.
Okay.
And so when she did the God mode, and then I would do the action side-scrolling part, and so we had this perfect 50-50 split of like she would do one part of the game and I do the other part of the game, and it was really fun. I ended up liking it a lot. I would give it like a 7.5 or an 8 out of 10 for me. I think.
Wow.
It was really solid. Yeah.
Well, not only did you pick a good game, I think that's a great answer too. That's cool that you guys got to enjoy it together like that. What motivates you guys to keep streaming?
I think what motivates us to keep streaming is the little moments that we have where we get to kind of have pretty focused and intentional conversations with people about mental health. Because I'm a seminary graduate, so it's to some degree a little bit of like the pastorate or pastoral ministry is like kind of like part of my identity. And though I'm not involved in that in any career capacity anymore, or don't really want to be, I think having a positive impact on people's mental health in Twitch has been something that's been very, very rewarding. And I think finding and encouraging moments where we can say, hey, if you need that extra like boost to say it might be time for you to like go see someone or go to therapy or something like that. I would love to be an advocate and encourage you to do that. As someone who's went to therapy for different things, and who suffered a lot of trauma and things like that, it can be helpful. and the thing no one talks about is you could go in and I mean, I don't know who needs to hear this, but it's like you could go in and you could feel better. Like, imagine what feeling better, would look like. And I think that's one of the biggest things that's just rewarding for us is being able to talk to people about that on here in such a time as like the pandemic and that. Yeah.
That's cool. We kind of talked about that off stream, right? Like for me, part of the reason I love streaming is because we get to be the person that people come to for a source of entertainment, venting, to try, to talk about mental, whatever it is. They get to come to us, and we get to be that person they come to, and it's very cool. It's cool that it's cool to kind of gain that trust in that person that they feel comfortable coming to us. In, by the way, a chat, right, where other people. It's not like they're the only ones in the chat, right? There's other people in the chat, but yet they feel like your stream is a safe place to come to, and to me, that's very cool.
Oh, totally, huge part of it. Absolutely,
it's a good feeling. What do you feel are some of your biggest challenges with being a streamer?
Ooh, biggest challenges. I think it's that I don't always come like with my best to a stream because sometimes I'm a little stressed about the things that are like particular or important to me. Like for Erin, things looking a certain way is like not important for her at all. She's like really like community focused and stuff, and I'm like a little less of a people person. I'm a little more introverted, and I think I just like creating a lot. And so for me, I like making the overlays. I like making sure that the technical stuff is set up. I mean, I've got like a light, on right now. We've got a green screen, and those are the things that I enjoy doing. That was part of like my bachelor's degree program was like media production and stuff. And so, like I think the most challenging thing for me is like balancing out that like, hey, this technical aspect of it, it's fun for you. The reality is probably 95% of people don't care about this very much. And so it's just important to, it's just important to like recognize that it's not everything and you're there for the community. And sometimes I need a little pinch, to kind of wake me up out of that, rut. So
I can understand that. If you're just joining, this is Retro Rap with PLG. I am Phantom Limb Gamer. You may call me PLG. My guest is Whimsical Sprites, one half of Whimsical Sprites. This is Nick. If you'd like to follow Nick, I put his Twitch channel right there, twitch.tv/Whimsical Sprites. You can click on that link and bring you right to his Twitch page. Also, beneath that is his Twitter feed, Whimsy Sprites. At Whimsy Sprites, so you can click on there to get connected with them on Twitter.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. How do you feel you guys reward your community when they come watch you stream?
I guess first and foremost, I feel like they reward us. Like when they come watch our stream is like my thing is I just enjoy so much when we get like a good audience and to me like a good audience is less about the number of people and more like about engagement. Like I really like having, the chat that's like very interactive and that kind of thing. I think what we do to like reward people is we try to bring in like outside elements to the stream that might be fun for people. Like there was one time where I was doing a Pokemon speed run and it was like, hey, if we hit 200 follows, I'll put a Snorlax suit on. And that was fun to it's fun to just bring outside stuff like that. Or we a year ago when we were trying to make affiliate, we said that if we made affiliate that night, we'd bring our dog in a sweater onto the stream, and so we did. We fed him cheese, and that was fun. We try to bring in anything that I think would be that like extra, that extra fun, exciting thing. Sometimes it's just subtle things. I mean, one of my favorite streamers, Arcus. He has like a channel point redeem that's like Arcus treat, and all he does is he just like pulls out a cookie and he's like, that's a good boy, Arcus, and like eats it. I just think little things like that are funny, and so we try to do as many little things like that.
I think as a streamer, for me anyways, I really like channel point redemptions. Like I'll go into a streamer stream. And I like channel point redemptions, I really do. And if you look at my channel point redemptions, I try to be very creative too. Like a couple examples, I have the PLG dance. and it's basically I'm an amputee, so like the PLG dance, I'll actually get up, take my leg off, and dance in front of the camera, like holding my chair, just stupid things like that. And I do Mad Libs. You know what Mad Libs are? Except I call them Mad Limbs, LIMBS. So I'll do that on stream with my community. But that's great. I think doing stuff like that.
How does Mad Limbs work? Like, what do you do?
I went to a game like a board game store. I'm in Minnesota. I went to the Mall of America, and I just bought a couple. Like they got like Star Wars Mad Libs. Okay. And basically, I'll just go in here and just like, all right, guys, give me a color, give me a noun, give me a color, adjective, and I fill it out. I got my little boogie board that I use, that I fill it out on, and then I just read it on stream. Okay. And then what I do is I'll take a picture of it. I'll take a picture of the one we did, and then the picture of the responses, and then I fill it out on the Discord. And I got a special channel on my Discord. If you look at it, it says Mad Libs, and then you can read the Mad Libs right on the Discord. So it's just like if you're bored or something, or you need a quick pick me up, you can go in there and just read all the different Mad Libs that we did, and just give yourself give yourself a little chuckle.
That kind of sounds like we have one that's for writing haikus.
Oh, there you go.
The person picks the topic, and then we just write it in the archive Discord for that too.
Yep, same idea. So I think to your point, I think doing little things like that and channel point redemption, I think that's just an excellent way of rewarding your viewers. Because they're not just coming in and watching you. Some viewers, they just like to lurk in the background, and that's cool. But some, they like to be interactive. They like to have fun. And having cool channel point redemptions, I think, is a great way to do that.
Yeah, definitely. I got to comment on your poster in the back, too. I love that you're into Disney movies and things like that.
Oh, my God, Nick. Hey, into Disney movies is an understatement. I'm obsessed with Disney. It is legit an obsession with me. And I have I did a cosplay stream once. I dressed like Ariel from Little Mermaid.
Oh, okay.
And the other thing is, and actually this is another channel point redemption, is I'll do you redeem it. I do Disney karaoke, and basically I'll pick the Disney song, and it's always either be our guest in Beauty and the Beast or Part of Your World in Little Mermaid, and I'll actually sing it on stream.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. I loved Aladdin when I was a kid. I loved it so much that I saw the live action one with my mom.
Yeah.
I invited her over and we went to the theater and watched it, and it was awesome. I brought my favorite Disney movie with me because I just started collecting VHS. So I love this movie because of how goofy it is, and I think it's underrated how funny it is. But it's this one here,
Sword in the Stone. Oh yeah, that's a good one. It's been forever since I've seen it, and I think it's on Disney Plus. It has to be on Disney Plus, right?
And like every time Merlin just loses it with his beard or something, I just love that. Like he's like just grumbling with like the chain, and like the when the teacup comes in, he's like wang wang. It's just awesome. I also got to talk about your wrestling buddy, your Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah, my wrestling buddy. Yep. Okay, go ahead.
How long have you had that for?
Actually, I'll be honest. It wasn't something I got when I was a kid. A good friend of mine, Brian, is a cancer survivor. And he had cancer when he was really, really young. And when I met him, I helped him through some really rough times in his life that he was going through. And so as a wedding present, he gave that to me as a wedding gift. And it has extra meaning behind it because he gave it to me because he knew I'm a big wrestling fan, especially Hulk Hogan. 80s wrestling. So he gave it to me. So I never had a wrestling buddy growing up. I don't know why. I just never did. And so now that's when I have.
That's so crazy because like we do so much with wrestling, but the reason why that caught my eye is because that was one of the first things that we sourced for our store.
Oh.
We found one here in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and sold it on eBay. But I was learning about those as we watched the Toys That Made Us.
Oh, yeah.
I was big into wrestling too, but I missed the wrestling buddy era somehow. Like I guess I grew up with the Attitude era, so maybe it would be beyond.
Yeah, wrestling buddies, that was like in the 80s.
Yeah, so that's probably what happened. But I'm like huge into wrestling. I love it. So that's so cool that you have one of those.
Yeah, and I have right next to it. You can barely see it, but it's the NWO Championship belt.
Yeah,
and I actually. when I lived in Maryland, I went to a wrestling thing, and Scott Hall and Kevin Nash were there.
Oh
So
yeah.
I had my picture taken with them, and then they signed that belt for me.
Oh, that's so
And then
rad.
like underneath the NWO where it shows the placeholder, like the name of the person who has the belt, he put for life, so it says NWO for life.
Yeah.
So, anyways, but yeah,
That's
it has extra meaning to me because of that.
That's so amazing. I love it too because one of the first toy shows that we ever did, we boothed next to a professional photographer for the WWE,
Oh, cool!
and he was such a cool guy. Now every time we do this show, I try to booth next to him. But he had this story that one time Undertaker and Paul Bearer were coming to Grand Rapids,
Oh,
and part of his job was to like entertain them while they were there.
sure.
I guess so. Paul Bearer, he picks him up at the airport, and he's like driving in the car with him, and he goes, like, "What do you want to do, man?" And he goes, "Well, isn't like the Gerald Ford Museum here and stuff like?" And he goes, "Nah, you don't want to do that. That's like lame. What if you like just came back to my house and I like cooked ribs for you and we had some beers and we just like hung out and stuff?" And then to my amazement, I'm like, "Well, what happened next?" And he goes, Paul Bearer was like, "Yeah, sure." And so he just had this guy at his house for like several hours before he needed to be anywhere, just eating ribs and drinking beer with him. And it was like,
Oh
so cool.
my god, that would be really cool. And it's not like Paul Bear was some huge name. I mean, he was a pretty big name for wrestling managers. But after Undertaker and after Kane, he really didn't do anything. Maybe a little bit with Mankind, but that'd be so cool.
Yeah, it sounded so rad to me. But I just loved hearing about him. I love that you're into the 80s stuff. I've been trying to get more of that. Those old wrestlers, I don't know what they're called, but they look like He-Man figures. They're kind of top-heavy.
Yeah, oh yeah. I used to have a bunch of them.
Yeah, we had one for Ultimate Warrior that was just awesome. And I'm trying to find more of them, but that's so cool.
What you should look for, before those came out, the wrestlers, they were just big rubber toys. And they had one stance, and that was it. And, like, I used to play with those. That was way back in the early, mid-80s.
We have a couple of those, the bendy ones.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, yep, we have a couple of them. I think they're a little newer, though, because the one that we have is, I think we have a Stone Cold, and then we have somebody else. I don't know who it is. We've got so many of them, but...
Yeah, that's really cool, man. I mean, if you want, by the way, put the link to your online store again because it's probably buried in the chat. But guys, if you're just coming in, Whimsical Sprites, Nick and his wife Erin, they have a toy store, an online toy store. So if you guys are into collecting toys, check it out. And they got a toy store and they got an eBay shop too. So guys, go check it out. Moving on here. So if you guys. And you can either answer for you or your wife or for both of you, however you want to answer this. If you had your choice, would you rather work a full-time job you absolutely hate, making $500,000 a year, or be a full-time Twitch streamer making a livable wage, basically you pay your monthly bills, entertainment, and you're saving $200 a month? Which would you choose and why?
Man, that's tough because I don't know how much I love Twitch streaming. Like as a full-time job, but if I hate the job, I'm always gonna pick doing something that I enjoy doing over something that I hate doing. I mean, just money has never been like important to me in that way.
Sure.
I think what money does more than anything is. I had a former mentor who said this, but it reveals like what people are about and stuff, and some of your darkness and things like that. So I think for me, I probably would do the Twitch streaming thing. Although I don't know how much I'd love doing Twitch full time. I guess it's just something I've never explored. We've always seen Twitch as something that kind of like leads into toys, and toys lead into Twitch. It's kind of like if it's a big wheel, it's like one spoke in the wheel, along with everything else that we do. So I think I would pick Twitch streaming probably.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, what can new viewers expect when they visit your guys' stream?
I think you can expect coming into something that might have maybe just like an inkling of the vibe that like Rhett and Link from Good Mythical Morning has. We try to kind of model things in our show like that, where it's we call it hardcore wholesome, where it's just we try to like just make it fun, inclusive for everybody, and just celebrating the past. That's like a big thing is, it's big on retro. So I mean, like if you're into old games, indie developers too. We try to we recently played Undertale. We played other games like that on the channel, but you can expect a lot of retro for sure.
Cool.
Yep.
What was the game you guys were playing on Halloween that I came into your stream then? What was that?
I think we were playing Zombies Ate My Neighbors for the Super Nintendo.
No, it wasn't that. It was a different one. It was you were in a mansion or something, or it was a.
We were playing a group game because that's another thing that we do on the channel occasionally. Is Monster Seeking Monster.
It was called what? I'm sorry.
Monster Seeking Monster. So
Monster
it's for
okay.
it's like the Jackbox Party Pack number 4, I want to say, or maybe 6. I can't remember. It's a good game. It's goofy. It's like basically you are in an online dating site, and so you chat anonymous people and try to match for dates. And it can be really really funny. Yeah, we kind of just had like an okay turnout for that game. But when you get like 8 or 10 people in the room, that's when it gets really good. So,
that's pretty cool. Do you guys? Is your stream family friendly?
We had like a little bit of trepidation with using that word because I think it can. Well, sometimes it's kind of implied that the content's like not very good or like just kind of watered down or something like that. I hope I'm not. I hope I'm like not being offensive or something. But sometimes family friendly has like a negative connotation to it.
I gotta understand what you mean.
Yeah, I think we tried to like it's not a mature channel for sure, but I mean we're not going to be snobby about people saying things that aren't exactly like PG everyone. So I would call it PG-13 if
okay,
that
makes sense.
What I tell people a lot is as a seminary grad is I love Jesus but I cuss a little, like kind of thing. So like that's how I would describe the attitude of the stream, I guess, is that I don't want to alienate anybody and stuff, but we also don't want people just saying really really mature things when there might be kids around and stuff. But kids can handle more than you think. So
yeah. Oh, that makes sense. In your opinion, is it important to support your fellow streamers? Why or why not?
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't do it nearly as much as I should. I think Aaron is far better at this than I am, but I think it's huge because what builds community is mutual vulnerability, reciprocal vulnerability, I should say. So you have to have, and I have a hard time with this, but you have to have a little bit of faith in humanity to say like, hey, if I open up to you and I extend some trust that you're gonna do good things with that. And I think Twitch allows us to do that in a very safe space because you're not revealing like too much about yourself. In some cases, you're not even revealing your name, but you're allowed to, you're allowed to have vulnerability. And so I think having other people in your network for that reason is good. I also think it's important just because this thing doesn't exist if you don't have community. And so if you believe in the thing, like if you believe in being able to hop in and be entertained, it's very accessible and it's very easy to get into it, then you have to contribute too. And so I think that it's a community thing, and that's why. Yeah.
And we were talking off stream again, I think too, it's important to work with other streamers because people come to us for a reason. Like they come to our streams because they don't get the social gathering, what they had pre-COVID, and they miss that social interaction. So I think it's important to support each other because by doing that, we're building better streams for people to come and watch. And that's why I like doing Retro Rap, because we get to collaborate, and it's a way for new viewers to find you, and it's a new way for your community that come and watch you to support you on Retro Rap to find me. So it's just really cool that it works like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Huge positive contribution to mental health.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. What's the best way viewers can support you guys?
I'm so glad that you asked that, because this is something that we get asked a lot, because I think people want to know, like, should I put like money and resources like that or time or whatever into like Discord, or should I like sub to your channel, or should we donate, or like whatever. the way that I would love to see people supporting our channel is buying something from us on Mercari or eBay. The reason why I say that is because every time we get a subscription, which I love and appreciate, a good portion of that is just going to Amazon or going to, whatever and stuff like that. When you buy a toy from us, you're getting something in return as well. And I think that kind of contributes to that reciprocity that I really like, about having things available on the market for people to buy and stuff, is because we can give you something fun that you'll enjoy and you'll appreciate, but you're also supporting us. And that's huge. So I always kind of try to use Twitch as a bit of a way of directing traffic to that, because we just love the craft of collecting and nostalgia and all that kind of stuff. So I think the best way to support us would be to pick up something on Mercari, pick up something on our website or on eBay. Things that aren't monetary, just share our channel, or join us on Discord, just talk and just be there, not trying to. I don't want to push people ever to feel like they have to buy something to hang out on our channel. But if you do want to support us, that's the best way to do it.
Do you have the link for your Discord?
Yes, I can get that.
If you want, if you feel free or feel comfortable, go ahead and post it there. So if you guys want to join Whimsical Sprites Discord, he'll put the link there for you. And I'm going to put his information here again while he's doing that. So if you guys want to give them a follow on Twitch, whoops, that is the link for their Twitch page. And if you'd like to give them a follow on Twitter, that is their Twitter page. And there's the link for the Discord. And if you could send that to me, Nick, on in a whisper, I'd like to join too. Davey, hello, I'm back. Oh, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate that.
Hey, Davey, how are you? It's good to see you.
All right, so we kind of talked a little bit off stream, Nick, very briefly, about how I think actually we talked about this during your Halloween stream when I came in. I mentioned about your overlay. Without giving any sort of cost or going into deep detail, give a few examples of the types of work other streamers can commission you to do for them, and why do you feel channel art is important?
Yeah, so I am a big advocate for art in general, because I'm a musician, I'm a content creator, and I'm also big into philosophy, and I think that aesthetics and beauty are an amazing and extremely important part of life. Art helps us to think about things differently. It helps us to gain perspective. I think it helps you to tap into that thing in life that goes beyond just, making money, paying bills, surviving. It's where we stop surviving and we start thriving. And so when it comes to art and things like that, the sort of kind of content that people can commission from me would be channel overlays. If you want a channel overlay done for your stream, I can do that. Branding. I have a small ad agency for marketing services and things like that. But what I really love to do is graphic design. I can also make custom music for your channel. We do have a Spotify, which can I link that in the?
You can link your Spotify. That's fine.
Yeah. Let me see if I can. See if I can find it real quick. Sometimes it's challenging to get the Spotify link. But I make music and
stream beats and things like that. So if you want music made for your channel, I can do that. I think I got it here. There we go. There we go.
There you go.
Hey, Coconut, how's it going? It's so good to see you.
I like that name, Aggressively Coconut.
Yeah.
He's really about coconuts.
Coconut is the best. Coconut is a huge part of why I think we believe in community so much. We've been able to send things back and forth to each other. I'm still working through a bunch of candy that Coconut sent to us, and we love it. She got to share some of the candy that she grew up with, things that I've never even tried before. And so that was just really cool. And Davey, it's been really good to see you too. I've loved just getting to know you guys, and it's great. But yeah, commissions, music, graphic design. I make custom VHS, covers and sleeves and stuff like that too. Business cards. Let me make something for you. I love making stuff. Just reach out, and I don't know. You might be surprised. I make a whole bunch of stuff. So
That's you bring up a lot of good points, and being as someone that has channel art, I have a channel artist, and she actually made this overlay for me, which is I think awesome. I think she did just a fantastic job making it. Her name is Gilgamesh, and my channel artist is down. If you want to go down into my panels, you could there. She's listed there. Her name is Gilgamesh. You can click on her, but it's so important. Like she made emotes for me. She has made this overlay for me. She made. I'm a big Mega Man. I love showing off my. Everyone's got their F emote, right? She made my F emote, which I just think is so cool. It's a Mega Man F, and like she does stuff like that for me. So like it is so important, I think, to have really cool channel art because it just. I don't know. It just brings a little more pizzazz to your channel, and it makes it your own, and it's about branding, like you said. So I totally agree with you on all of that. To an aspiring Twitch streamer, Nick, what's three pieces of advice you'd offer them?
Well, I think the first thing that I would say is be prepared for it to be different than you expect a little bit. It's kind of hard when you're starting out because you're going to need to be mentally prepared to get used to the technical aspects of it. That is something that's always going to be challenging. You're going to be learning software like maybe Twitch Studio was the way that we started, and then we moved into OBS or maybe Streamlabs, and that is like a whole learning curve. It can be as simple or as complicated as you want it to be because a lot of this is just open source, nice, volunteer funded and supported software. But that's a big challenge of it. The other thing is getting used to the dynamic of playing a game, interacting with chat. Mm-hmm. If you're doing that yourself, I think that's a lot harder than doing it like with your like. I'm so lucky that I have Aaron because we can kind of split up those dynamics and stuff like that. But managing the chat and stuff like that can be challenging. And just know that like if you like games and you like community, you're gonna love it here. Like it's great. It's a good time. And just really to encourage you again, if you're watching, you're thinking about streaming. Like I am not the smartest person in the world, and I figured out how to do it. If I can figure out how to do it, you can figure out how to do it.
I'm going to piggyback on that. Your first piece of advice is great. OBS. Like when I started streaming, I thought it was just as simple as going on your laptop, Twitch.com, and streaming. And in some aspects you can do that, like because you can do IRL streams directly through the app, but I had to figure out like you, I'm not the smartest guy. I had to figure out OBS, and OBS is kind of a beast if you've never used anything like it before. And I didn't have any friends that streamed, so I was basically on my own. But what's cool about it is once you figure it out, it is so rewarding because you're like, oh my god, I figured this out. And it's not, OBS isn't just a simple plug and play sort of thing. I mean, you got to create scenes. You got to put your sources in there. You got to create it. And you got to figure out how to go from like a full screen down to to do retro gaming, stuff like that. And then it's just a lot to do. Then you got to play with your audio mixer. You got to make sure you get good sound. You got to make sure you have good audio. But the rewarding part of it is you put this thing together and now you're streaming. And not only that, people can come to you and be like, hey, Nick, how did you get this going? Like, can you help me out? Like, oh yeah, I know OBS now, and then you can help other people do it.
Yeah,
that is really cool. The other thing I would say that worked for me is before I started streaming, I would go into other streamers' chats, and I didn't just go into people that had one or two viewers. I was searching for people that in the retro community that had hundreds of viewers or 100 or more viewers. And I went in there, and I would start all caps. Hey, everybody! It's Phantom Limb Gamer. I'm the one-legged savior of the world. How you? I made myself known. People would oh, hey, how you doing? And I was doing that all the time. And that's how I got to know Princess Za. That's how I got to know Grayskull. That's how I got to know El Jefe. That's how I got to know some of these bigger names. And then next thing you know, these people are coming into your communities. Oh yeah, I met you over in Nick's Whimsical Sprites communities. Hey, I met you over in Princess Za's community. And next thing you know, their friends are coming, and you're starting to slowly build this community. And that's another thing I would mention. But those are great.
And you got me thinking about something with that too that I think is amazing. Can I share something? I'll just be right back. I'll go grab it real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Take your time. So, guys, I'm going to put, while he's doing that, guys, go give him a follow, if you could, please. And that's his Twitter. Go follow him on oops, hold on. Whimsical Sprites info. I spelled it wrong. There you go.
But what I was hoping to say is, you said it perfectly. And I think another thing that I wanted to piggyback off on Pat is like, you never know who's going to be like the next like amazing friend that you connect with on Twitch. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what's so cool. Is like when we got started, a dude named Salt86 came into our chat on our Sonic stream, and it was one of our first streams ever. And he was like, "Hey, I'm working on my thesis or whatever. I'm just going to give you a lurk." And I didn't think much of it in the moment because it was just like, okay, he's working on school. He's just, kind of doing whatever. And then he ended up like slowly interacting with us. And then we watched Salt's stream and stuff like that. And then I love that Coconut's chiming in because she already knows where I'm going with this. And then we got connected with Coconut and Salt. And these two people seriously became some of like our best friends on Twitch. So much so that Coconut actually painted me my favorite Pokemon and sent it to us.
That's so cool. Wow.
It is incredible. It is my pride and joy. I'm still trying to figure out a way to hang it like in our house, but like I seriously love and appreciate it so much. She also painted my wife's favorite Pokemon.
Oh, that's really neat.
And this is one of the things that's beautiful about Twitch is that you're gonna find friends who are just gonna do nice stuff for you. Like I mean, like literally, I cannot tell you how many times in the last 4 years I've just about had a screw loose from like losing like my faith in humanity because of like the climate of the world, the pandemic, everything's crazy, and then Twitch just has this little like this little spark of hope that's just so nice. And just being able to make quality friends out here has been huge. So don't forget that a lurk or something like that might seem like inconsequential, like in the moment, and it's just kind of like whatever. But that person very literally could be like the next amazing long-term friend that you make.
You see the posters in my background?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Those were both birthday gifts from my community.
Oh, that's
they sent them to me. Not only that. As I mentioned, I'm a big Little Mermaid fan. Love Little Mermaid. Yeah. They took the initiative to call bakeries around Minnesota here, and they had a Little Mermaid birthday cake made for me.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Not only that, it was carrot cake, which is my favorite cake. So I have this little... I'll show it pictures off stream. My community, I've seen it. I have these Little Mermaid cake made, a birthday cake. It had like Ariel in a boat, and she was on there, and then they had Scuttle was on there, and it was freaking cool. Like I had no idea this was even happening. Faye, who is basically Faye Wings, she's basically my right hand person. She's the person I go to with anything Twitch related, Discord related. She helps me with a lot of different things. I think I don't know, but I think it was her that took the initiative. But yeah, she called around here and she's like, "Oh, by the way, you're gonna..." And that other poster on there, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie The Crow, but it's,
I haven't, but I've had a lot of people recommend it.
Oh my God, Nick, it's my favorite movie of all time. And so that poster is an homage of The Crow. It's a thing. It's from The Crow, and the one next to it is Little Mermaid. And so these were gifts that they sent to me. So you're right. It's like you never know. You're gonna build this awesome community, and you don't know what to expect. Like, I had no idea. I didn't even get birthday presents from my family, Nick. Not that I expected, but like, I get these posters that they went out of their way, and at the time, I never made it like this big deal that I was a big Little Mermaid. I mentioned it a little bit, so they picked up on it. So they picked up on these little cues that I'm a big Little Mermaid fan, and I'm a big Crow fan, and they like got together and sent me this stuff. I mean, it's just like, how freaking cool is that? So yeah, to your point, you just never know like how much impact you have on somebody when you're streaming that they're gonna do something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's the questions I have. I'm gonna open it up to my Twitch community here and whoever's watching. Do you guys have any? And I always have to say this word, and I hate saying it, but you always got someone in there that's gonna ask some off the wall stupid question. When I say stupid, I mean inappropriate. Does anybody here have any appropriate questions that they would like to ask Nick regarding anything from what we've talked about? Maybe questions about the toy store. Maybe questions about streaming. What questions do you guys have that you would like to ask Nick? And while you guys are thinking of that, I'm going to put your info here again.
Yeah, thank you so much.
That's the wrong one. Whimsical Sprites there.
So, and if I can add to another way that you can support us is if you want, if you like the music end of things, I have a goofy track that I made called "I'm Dirty Dank." It's here. It's actually a channel redeem now, but Coconut and Backlog Cabin and some of my great friends, Postway, Dowski. One time I was streaming like a music production stream, and they jokingly said you should make a trap song. And then I said, well, I don't really like listen to a ton of rap, but the only way that I would make a trap song is if it had like SpongeBob quotes in it, and had like a trombone, or it was something goofy, like ironic and funny and stupid. And so we did that. I literally made a song that it's just Patrick, like it's just a bunch of things that Patrick say, and it's a trap beat with a trombone. That's the whole song. So if you want, you can go like you donate on there or buy that or whatever. But
yeah, guys, go check that out. That's really neat. Does anybody have any? I don't even know how many people are in here. I don't have. Does anybody have any questions? We got a little bit of a room here. Any questions for Nick here? I do have one question I'd like to ask, but I'll leave it here for to see what people.
And I love that you mentioned The Crow earlier too, because I imagine that was a title that was primarily distributed on VHS, because that sounds like late 80s, early 90s.
It was 1993, and the significant, I don't know how much of the movie you know about, but the significant thing about The Crow was it was Brandon Lee's breakthrough role, and he died during the making of the movie.
Oh, no way.
And
wow.
I don't know if you've ever heard of the actor. His name is Michael Massey. He was in The Crow, and he's died. He just died recently. But there's a part in the movie where basically what The Crow is about is Eric Draven. Him and his wife are murdered on Halloween by a bunch of thugs, and they call it Devil's Night is the name of the night. Anyways, so and he comes back to avenge him and his fiance's death through the power of the Crow. And basically this crow flies around with him, and everything the crow sees, he can see. And he's like invincible and everything. Anyways, during the part of the movie where the thug shoots him, they got him pinned down like this, and they shoot him. There was a piece of shrapnel somehow lodged in the gun, and it shot and it killed him. And they had to create part of the movie with like, and back then it wasn't as easy to recreate a person as it is now, right? So they had to use like lookalikes and CGI and like all this different part. But anyways, Brandon Lee was this.
They actually had like an accident on set where he.
Yeah,
I just want to make.
It was an accident on set where he was actually shot and killed. He died.
Wow.
I don't know if he died on the way to the ER or he died in the ER, or if he died instantly. But if you watch the movie, it's the part where they got him pinned down, like they're holding his arms like this, and they shoot him. Then he ends up like falling out of the window. But that was the part of the movie. That's where he died. He was actually shot. They show Fun Boy's the name of Michael Massey's character, and they show him shooting him. And that's where he died. And I don't know if you knew this, but Brandon Lee was the son of Bruce Lee, who died during what's the name of the movie Bruce Lee was in? The Dragon movie.
Is it Crouching Tiger?
No. It's Chat, help me out here. It's the Bruce Lee movie, something Dragon. I can't remember the name of it.
It's an old kung fu movie or something.
It's an old kung fu. Enter the Dragon. That's it. Enter the Dragon. Yeah, it was Enter the Dragon. And he was. I don't remember. I think he was. Yeah, thank you, Coconut. I think he was. I don't remember if Bruce Lee was killed during the making of the movie, but it was shortly after the movie. But yeah, Brandon Lee, like he was in a movie called Rapid Fire. He was in Big Trouble in Little China. But his breakthrough role was The Crow and Eric Draven, and he was amazing in the movie. So if you get a chance to watch the movie, and actually it might be on. It's either, I think it's on either Netflix or on Prime. Maybe not. Or I don't know if you're an Apple guy, but it's in the Apple Store. You can.
You got a 7.5 on IMDb or thereabouts. That's pretty good.
It was. I mean, I love the movie, and the fact that it was his breakthrough role. Anyways,
Yeah.
I digress. I could talk about The Crow. I know so many different things about that movie. I've seen it.
Well, I'm always looking for movies to find on VHS. It's like my new hobby. That when we bought this CRT, it came with a really nice 4-head VCR, and so I actually stopped streaming services recently, and now like my wife and I, we just find VHS tapes, and that's like how we. We're actually looking to launch a VHS subscription service where we
cool.
you like tell us the movies you like, and then we send you in the mail like 5 or 6 of them.
That's super cool. Yeah,
I found some cool titles. Like a while back, I found this one, The Thing.
Oh, John Carpenter. Yep.
John Carpenter. Yeah, I found Blair Witch Project.
Oh yeah. Yep.
That one. And then this one is one of my favorites because it was recommended to me so much, but I didn't know anything about it. Night of the Living Dead.
Is that the black and white one?
Yeah.
I love that. That's one of my favorite horror movies.
This movie is insanely good.
Judith O'Dea, I think, is in there. Judith O'Dea, and I forget the guy's name, the black guy.
Dwayne Jones.
Dwayne Jones, yep. Love that movie.
Yeah, it's like such a low budget film, but what they did with the tension and the anticipation and I found so many cool. I found so many cool like VHS tapes, and I'm just really getting into that.
Try to find The Crow, man. I love the movie. You might watch and be like, "This is garbage," but I love the movie. And if you can find it,
I'm going to try it out. Like I say, I'm about to watch The Terminator for the first time ever on VHS, and that's like, and I really seriously know nothing about that movie.
It's, if anything, you'll love Arnold's lines. And Terry 7, I think Bruce Lee died. Yeah, I think he did too on Terry's. I think Bruce Lee died during the making of Enter the Dragon, just like Brandon Lee died during the making of The Crow. It's just so weird. And they're actually buried right next to each other, too, which is kind of cool.
Wow. Yeah, that is wild.
Does anybody have any questions? Otherwise, I do have a question. I usually, one of my followers, Miss Ted, usually asks this question, and I love it. Would you rather be attacked by 100 duck-sized horses or one horse-sized duck?
Oh my gosh, that is an awesome question. 100 duck-sized horses
or one horse-sized duck?
My thing with the 100 duck-sized horses is that I would think the main way that they would attack me would be like nibbling on me or like maybe kicking me with their feet. We've got like geese and ducks and swans and stuff like that here at the apartment, and I don't really feel that threatened by them. Even when there's like a ton of them, I just feel like it's not that big of a deal. I feel like if one horse-sized duck came at me, I would be like, what in the hell am I gonna do with this? Like, I mean, like it folds out its wingspan, and it's just like, like I imagine this choral arrangement of like oh, you know, like this ominous music is like behind it, and it's like I'm gonna die. This thing is gonna eat me, and it's like, what do the proportions look like when it's that big? Like, how big is the beak? You know, in reference to like, because, dude. I mean, I think I'd rather fight the 100 duck-sized horses than the one horse-sized duck. That's just way too ominous and intimidating.
And Terry 7 is asking, what programs do you use to make tracks with? Like, was it FL Studio or Reason?
Yeah, my answer might surprise you. So most of the music that I make is actually made on this. This is my iPad mini.
Oh.
I used to have a larger 10.5 iPad Pro. I used to work for Apple, so I love their products. But I also have right now I'm chatting with you on a gaming PC. So I do both. But I actually use GarageBand. And I say that as a person who I'm well versed in like Pro Tools and Logic and Reason, and I have FL Studio, which I also make music with on this computer. I'm working on a RuneScape lo-fi album right now. So it takes all of the old school RuneScape sounds and puts them into like relaxing, music. But I actually use GarageBand for a lot of stuff. And the reason why is because GarageBand is the fastest way that I've ever found to make music. They have a thing where you want to make a beat, you can just draw it.
Oh,
like
cool.
you can literally just there's a sequencer and you can just draw like out a beat. And for me, having made music since I was like 10, it's really just not about sound quality as much as it is about efficiency. Most of us are listening to music on like cheap earbuds and headphones and stuff like that. So for me, I just want to put out more content. Like I want to work on a project for a day and say, hey, I did that. Let's go on to the next thing. So it's actually GarageBand for the most part.
Cool. And then there was a follow-up question by Antares. Besides Pokemon, what art do you draw?
I don't really draw as much. Like in the distinction of like what kind of art like I do, I'm definitely more on the graphic design side of things. Which the main difference of that I would say is like graphic designers are like we're like artists. We like cannibalize art or something like that. Like we like cut things out of art that someone else has made. We arrange them, we curate them, but we're not like artists necessarily. I don't draw at all. But I do work alongside like a lot of artists and stuff like Pitter Possum and other people. But I don't draw too much. Make a lot of designs, a lot of overlays. If you ever need like a channel overlay, I'd love to make one for you. But I don't draw much.
Okay. AMC, how are you doing? Welcome in again. AMC, you know Retro Rap. I think you've seen it before. AMC, if you're not familiar with Whimsical Sprites, please give them a follow. They're a husband-wife duo that stream together on Twitch. I put their retro streamers. I put their Twitch channel right there, and I put their Twitter feed right there, so you can give them a follow on both. I would appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Does anyone else have any questions for Whimsical Sprites before I let them go?
Yeah, I love that. I love that question about the audio production thing too. I so appreciate that. Yeah.
AMC says retro. I'm in. I'm assuming that means AMC gave you AMC's for my chat community. He's pretty cool. I like AMC a lot. He comes in. He really makes chat. He can make chat a lot of fun. He's very interactive with chat. So, yeah, definitely AMC. Go check him out. Oh, I do have a question for you, Nick. When do you guys stream? Like, if you want to actually in the chat box, because I know you're not full time. If you want to put in, I don't know if you guys have like a regular schedule. If you could just put in the chat there. Yeah. Give the viewers, like, if they want to come and check you out. And of course, if they follow you, they'll get a notification. But sometimes, if you're like me, I forget to turn notifications on or accidentally shut them off. Put down in there when you stream, or at least give us an idea. There you go.
Yeah, just dropped in the stream Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8 to 9:30 EST. We're considering expanding or moving that around. You know, what I would say is like the biggest thing with like when we stream is we're both self-employed. We do what I always tell people is like we're professional nerds, I guess, because we sell stuff and we stream and all that. We do this in a sense full time, but Twitch is it's one spoke in like the wheel between the music and the selling toys and the yada yada yada. So like that is largely shaped by you guys. I mean, like if you're like the majority of us are available on Wednesday, we will change our schedule to adapt to that. But right now, the consensus that we've heard is that Tuesdays and Thursdays from 8 to 9:30 seems to work for the largest number of people. So, yeah, and thanks. AMC, Jeep, I was looking at your channel, and I guess we've been following you since September. So I guess my wife must have hopped onto your channel at some point in time, because I think she watches more than I do. But thanks for the follow. I really appreciate it.
And then Anteri7 is asking, we kind of touched on this, but maybe they weren't here for that. What retro game is your favorite?
If I had to pick like one game that's like my desert island game, it would be like an almost exact tie between Pokemon Blue version and Pokemon Silver version for the Game Boy.
Oh, okay.
And then some really close runner-ups would be like some of the NES games I was showing earlier, but especially like this one, Ninja Gaiden 2. I absolutely love this game. But Pokemon, I think, wins the top spot because, dude, something that's like kind of lost in new games, and I don't mean to say the new games are bad. In fact, they're amazing. We've never had it better. But new games feel to me like sometimes they're not as gameplay focused, and old games, like they just drop you in, dude. And I don't want to read like a paragraph of story and stuff like that. That's why I like Doom and some of these other, because you just get started, you know. And with Pokemon, the thing is, there is basically an endless number of combinations. to like my team and stuff that I could make. The process of catching all of them, all that kind of stuff. It's probably a direct tie because Pokemon Blue was the one that I grew up with, but Pokemon Silver was the next game, and it has a lot more features. So it's probably a tie between those two games.
Cool.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have any questions? I'm going to put your information here. And actually, Nick, if you want to put your link for your store,
yeah,
those 3 links. If you guys are just joining us, not only does Whimsical Sprites stream on Twitch, but they also have a toy store for like 80s, 90s toys, like early 2000s. You guys go check out. They got an eBay store, they got their own store, and then they have their website. Go check them out there. And then again, Whimsical Sprites, that is their Twitch page, and then again, this is their Twitter. So
thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you, Nick, so much for joining. This was a lot of fun. I didn't really know much about you guys. I watched you on Halloween, and right then I was like, this would be really cool retro rap interview because you guys just seem like right up my alley for stuff that I like to watch anyways. And I just thought it would be cool to guys get you known a little bit, and hopefully gain a few followers from this and grow your community a little bit more. So thank you so much for joining.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and I got to get ready for work here. By the way, Nick, if you have nothing going on, I like to do I'm a bingo caller for bar bingo.
Oh, cool.
And I like to do I do bingo caller streams. So if you have nothing going on, if you want to join just at least for a few minutes to kind of see what it's about, that's kind of cool. People like to hear me call 069. So it's the degenerates in my community. Every community's got them, right? Don't get me wrong. I love my community. Like, my community's awesome. But thank you so much, Nick, for joining. Thank your wife for me as well. Hopefully she gets the opportunity to watch this on my VOD. And if it's okay with you, again, send me a whisper with your Discord link. I would like to post this interview on your Discord so your community can watch it.
Yep.
But yeah, guys, go check them out, please. Go check them out. And thank you so much for your time. And I'll be popping in your guys' streams. I like watching you. And I'll definitely check out your store, too.